So, did you see what happened in Walthamstow? Thousands and thousands of anti-fascist protesters in Walthamstow last night, far outnumbering the fascists, which are, as far as I know, there's probably only a few. I'm not sure of the exact figures, but it seemed like there wasn't a single fascist then. It was completely overflooded with the anti-fascist, which is absolutely brilliant. So much solidarity with immigrants and Muslims and what have you. So yeah, last night was really good. But that's not going to be the end of it. There's still a big threat of a far right, and we still got to mobilise it all. So yeah, after days of far right rampages in towns across the land, peaceful people last night came together to unite against the cowardly hate mobs. A sea of anti-racist protesters emerged to retake our streets in heartwarming scenes, also repeated in Bristol, Liverpool, Newcastle, Sheffield, Oldham and Walthamstow in London. Although yeah, Walthamstow is the most prominent one. Police have been bracing themselves for widespread disorder, and King Charles has been kept updated daily about the riots around the country, according to Buckingham Palace. He was feed 100 planned events. I heard it's about 80, but yeah, would cause violent disorder in 41 force areas, and 6,000 police officers are on standby. But instead, incredible scenes emerged as peaceful protests propped up all over the country. Thousands came out to protest immigrant centres and lawyers' offices after they had appeared on a chilling list of targets of the far right. One of the biggest turnouts was in Walthamstow, northeast London, where a police officer estimated more than 5,000 counter-protesters had gathered. This is the scene here, look. Completely full of protesters. It's really good. And that's probably only just a sample of it. There's probably a lot more than what you can see in that picture. Some waved placards with messages such as "Stop the Far Right" and "Refugees Welcome" as they stood opposite an immigration bureau. Local residents Jenny Edwards, 33, a psychologist, and Stuart Waugh, 31, a doctor, were out with the crowd. Jenny said, "We're here to oppose racists. They're not welcome here." Absolutely, yeah, look at it. From here, as you can see from the front, it's all the way back here, around here, and here. Probably off the camera as well. That's outside Waltham Forest Immigration Bureau in Hoe Street, London, which is part of Walthamstow. In Sheffield, just yards from the Children's Hospital, Ibi Ula, I can't decide if I said that wrong, a Labour councillor for Nether Edge and Sharrow, thanked the crowd for gathering to protect an immigration lawyer's office. Good. That had been named on a chilling list of targets for the far right. Yeah, it's good it was protected, and everywhere else. He told them there are many residents in my ward at the moment very fearful to go out, fearful in the summer holidays for their children to go out in case they get attacked. That's not Sheffield. That's not Britain. Yeah. He later told the Mirror, "My wife is an emergency GP who was too scared to be alone, so I had to drive her." Yeah, it is scary. They're very dangerous, these fascist scumbags. "It's so sad. I've grown up here and it's never been this bad when people are locking themselves in to be safe. Nobody should be afraid to go to work." Crowd in Sheffield said as they showed support to an immigration lawyer whose office was on the list. South Yorkshire police had threatened people with arrest unless they removed masks, which they did. Okay. In Bedford, things became a little more tense when a gang of local youths, aged around 16 or 17, arrived wearing several balaclavas and masks. But older members of the community immediately stepped forward and ordered them to take their masks off. Some agreed, others didn't. Outside the Asylum Link Centre on Overbury Street in Liverpool, supporters of a charity filled the road following report a protest was due to be held outside. A police van blocked off the road as hinderers turned out to protect the building, which had boards over the windows. Placards were held by members of the crowd, including one which read, "Nans against Nazis, nice. Merseyside pensioners fight back. And when the poor blame the poor, only the rich win." Yeah. Signs placed on the fence around the building said, "Love, not hate," and "One human family." Nice. And that just kind of picturing older shots. A police helicopter circled ahead, and officers patrolled the streets. Shortly before 9 p.m. in Oldham, a community leader and a megaphone told the crowd of several hundred who had come out to protest an immigration lawyer's office told them, "Thank you guys, it looks like no one is coming," and then urged them all to head home. It's good. So there was 80 to 100 attacks on these asylum centres and immigration centres, mosques, which were planned. I mean, never happened. And thanks to all these anti-fascist protesters, all coming out to stop it and to protect the centres, and not a single fascist attack happened. Brilliant. Northamptonshire police said 3 people had been arrested for public order offences in Northampton and were in custody, and no members of the public or police had been injured. Good. The force earlier said around 150 counter-protesters had gathered at the junction of Kettering Road and Clare Road, and that police were asking people to avoid the area. Police officers had rushed into separate opposing groups in Aldershot, Hampshire, after tempers flared. Protesters holding "Stand Up to Racism" placards have been chanting "Refugees are welcome here." Yeah, more about "Stand Up to Racism" a little bit later, because my local branch are starting to relaunch. We had a meeting earlier today. It's going to be a demo on Saturday to "Stand Up to Racism," and hopefully that's going to be more regular. I think it needs to be. A group across the road had been chanting back, "Stop the boats." Of course I have. "Stop the bash," more like. Some of them walked towards a Stand Up to Racism group, stopping traffic, and angry shouting occurred. Dozens of police officers then rushed onto the road to stop groups from getting too close to each other. Yeah, that could have been bad. If a fash came to them and started attacking them. Elsewhere, footage in Accrington, Lancashire, emerged, appearing to show people coming out of a pub to greet Muslims walking past. It's good. Footage shared on Twitter shows a group of men hugging a woman and shaking hands with another man outside what looks to be a pub with an England flag draped out from the window. Someone in the video can be heard saying, "Alhamdulillah." So yeah, again, sorry if I said that wrong, which means "praise to be God" in Arabic. There were also counter-protesters in Newcastle, Brighton and Bristol, among many others, including Middlesbrough, which bore the full brunt of anger from rioters last week. Bloody hell. On Sunday, a group of rioters in the city smashed the windows of houses and cars and threw objects at officers, with one seen shouting a racial slur and another telling police, "It's our effing country." It's everyone's effing country, so you can F off. Racist scumbag. You're the one who's not welcome, mate. But you're not my mate, but yeah, you know what I mean. A small group of people, including some anti-fascist demonstrators, gathered at the site of an expected protest near an immigration centre in Middlesbrough, but no protesters had assembled 10 minutes after the planned start time. in Birmingham, Black Country. In Bristol, around 2,000 people turned out to counter-protest after police said incidents of disorder that were seen in Bristol on Saturday were completely unacceptable and not legitimate protests, which is a hard word to say. Last week, Liverpool saw some of the worst far-right activity. Shocking in Liverpool. Supposed to be one of the most left-wing cities ever. So yeah, shocking that would be like the far-right. It's a good thing that Liverpool saw them all off. Yesterday, supporters of a charity, Asylum Link, filled the road following reports a protest was due to be held outside the centre. A police van blocked off the road as hundreds turned out to protest the building, which had boards over the windows. Placards were held by members of the crowd. Some individuals had their faces covered, including one which read "Nan's against Nazis," "Merseyside pensioners fight back," and "When the poor blame the poor, only the rich win." Signs placed on the fence around the building said "Love Not Hate" and "One Human Family." Riot police are expected to stay on standby for the foreseeable future, as they should, including through the weekend and beyond. Yeah, according to the police chief. Yeah, it's not going to be the end of it. It's only just beginning. Assistant Chief Constable Mark Williams said officers will continue to be deployed until the end of the disgusting scenes that we're seeing across the country. And I don't know when that's going to be. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. So yeah, so Walthamstow, Bristol, Birmingham, Oldham, and everywhere else last night. We had a lot of anti-fascist protesters out. Not very few fascist things apart from that one thing we're seeing about them going over the road, which were quickly stopped. But yeah, that's just really so. Like I was saying, yeah. So not long ago, Stand Up to Racism Plymouth had a meeting today. They're going to be relaunching, first time in a long time. We're going to be having a demo this Saturday in City Centre, alongside the weekly Palestine demos. But yeah, this at the moment is the most important thing at the moment, the forefront with what's going on lately. So yeah. So keep safe and stay anti-fash and keep this fascist scum off our streets.